I have Piper today. Hi. Hi everyone. My name is Elizabeth. This is Frizzy Lizzie Stitches. This is Piper. And today is Flosstube number 40. Okay. Piper hadn't made an appearance in a while, so I figured I'd bring her out. And then initially, of course, she was very upset that I took her away from the sun. So then I tried to give her treats, and then she was fine, but there was a moment where I was scared for my life. So anyway, she's a really sweet cat, but she knows what she wants, and she doesn't want you to mess with that. So anyway, welcome back. This is Flosstube number 40. Today is March the 19th, 2023. And yeah, it's a really sunny, beautiful day, which is nice, but don't let it fool you because it is still really cold outside. I think it's like 24 degrees right now. It probably feels colder with the wind chill, so love that. Spring is like literally, I guess, in like 3 days, and it's still just way too cold, in my opinion. Probably a bunch of other people would agree with me, but yeah, so yeah, anyway, it's been 2 weeks since my last video. Actually, I have 3 projects to show you today, and one of them is my secret project. So finally getting to share that with you today, and it will be the first project that I show you when I get to the stitching. But first I kind of wanted to just chat about what I've been up to and that sort of thing, like I usually do. So anyway, I guess the first week after my last video, nothing really out of the ordinary happened, but Bobby's schedule did switch from being his like 12-hour ICU shifts to like more of like a clinic style, I guess. So I've been able to see a lot more of him, which is nice. Cause like the first few days, like I would come home and he was already home. So that was really nice. And then we got to walk Wilson together. So that's been really nice. And then the second week after that, he actually took a week off, and coincidentally it was the same time that my mom, grandma, and sister came to town, because that was spring break for them. And my mom's a school teacher, and then my sister is still in college. Obviously my grandma's not in school, but anyway, so they came for spring break and helped me go wedding dress shopping. So that was this past Tuesday, and I did say yes to the dress. So I'm super excited about that. And we had a great time. They came in, it takes them 2 days to drive. So they came in on a Sunday and then they left on Thursday. So we had like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of like full days to do things. And it was really nice. We went shopping like Monday and Tuesday. Tuesday was the actual wedding dress shopping, and then Monday was just kind of like normal clothes shopping, I guess. I had a gift card that my grandma had given me for Christmas to Lululemon, and so I finally got to spend that. So that was really fun. And yeah, and then we like played games and watched one of our favorite movies, which is called Midnight Madness. I don't know how many of you have heard of that movie, but it is quite the hidden gem. I think it's very hard to find, but my sister bought it from like the Apple iTunes store, and yeah, it is a fantastic movie. Highly recommend. It's got Michael J. Fox in it. It's like, I think, one of the first movies he was ever in, and it's just about these college kids who do this like all-nighter scavenger hunt, and it is a classic. It is so good. And it's got a really catchy song that goes with it. So yeah, if you want to watch a movie from the 80s, highly recommend Midnight Madness. But yeah, and then pretty much, like I said, just chilled out at our little apartment. And my grandma, I learned that my grandma actually watches my videos, so hi grandma. But she's not the biggest dog person, and obviously we have Wilson, and so I was very interested to see how grandma was gonna like Wilson, and she loved Wilson. So she would like throw the ball for him and everything. And of course Wilson was super excited to meet her and see my mom and sister again. I'll actually put in a little video clip of my grandma throwing the ball for Wilson. He's gotten to, we're trying to teach him how to catch a Frisbee, and so in turn he just tries to catch everything in midair. So he's been catching the tennis ball in midair like he's like a catcher in baseball or something, and it's really quite funny. So here's that little clip.
Sit, sit, sit. All right, get it. Woo!
But yeah, so we had a great time. I was sad to see them leave as always, but yeah, it was great. And I guess the next time I see my mom and sister will be in July, because we're gonna go see Taylor Swift. She had her first concert weekend this past weekend, and I've, you know, of course only heard great things, but I'm trying not to read into a lot of stuff online because I don't want to be spoiled. So obviously I follow her on Instagram and Taylor Nation, so they post stuff from it, but I'm not gonna go deep diving into people's like video or concert videos and stuff, because since I am going to the concert, I want to be as surprised as possible. So yeah, anyway, but yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I did get my hair trimmed, so that was nice. I hadn't gotten my hair cut since like April of 2022, so it was good to chop all those dead ends off. I am trying to let my hair grow for the wedding though, so I only chopped like 1 inch and then got my layers redone, so, but it feels so much better, which is nice. And when I blow dry my hair, it doesn't feel as like dead. So Wilson's trying to play with me right now. But anyway, let's see what else we got here. Wilson, don't bump the tripod, sweetheart. Oh, move over that way. I know, you want to play so bad. I know. Okay, thank you. I'll take that. Okay. Let's see. Oh yeah, and then last night we went to this brewery, which we have been to before and really love because they have an amazing happy hour. But we ended up staying there for a really long time, and then when we got back home, Bobby was like, oh, my fog lights are still on, talking about his Jeep, and sure enough, his Jeep battery died. So this morning, and the only reason I'm telling you this is because he was like, oh, are you gonna mention it in your video? And I'm like, no, but I guess I will. But yeah, so I ended up having to help him jumpstart his Jeep with my bug, which was funny because I haven't had to do that yet, surprisingly. So yeah, he thought it was funny that my bug brought his Jeep back to life. Alright, so yeah, I think that's pretty much it for Rambly, what I've been up to. But I did want to acknowledge your comments from last time. I thought it was awesome that you guys appreciated my enthusiasm for my Taylor Swift hoodie. I actually am wearing the shirt today with my purple cardigan that I actually got this last weekend. So yeah, anyway, kind of in honor of my Stitchy, my secret stitch, I will show you in a moment. You've probably already seen it because it'll probably be in the thumbnail, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, and then also that you guys also didn't think it was weird that I'm watching Bluey, because either y'all are also watching it mainly because you probably have kids, or you just like to watch kids shows, and honestly, it's a whole vibe. Sometimes it's just nicer than watching TV made for adults because it's like more simple and wholesome. So anyway, but I definitely watched Bluey while my sister was here because she also really likes to watch it, so we had a good bonding moment over that. I think we spent one of the afternoons watching Bluey, and like she was working on some graphic design stuff and I was painting my nails or something. So that was pretty nice. But anyway, we also relate because we're obviously sisters, and there's definitely a lot of stuff that Bluey does that is kind of similar to how I acted as a kid, and a lot of stuff that Bingo does that Mary Catherine did as a kid. So it's just funny to see this show that we can relate to so easily. So anyway, okay, but enough chatting. I'm gonna get into the stitching now, because I'm sure you're all waiting to see my my secret stitch and all the details. So let me gather my stuff and I will be right back. Okay, so this is not in chronological order of how I stitch things, but I am going to show you my secret stitching first because I'm tired of referring to it as my secret stitch. So anyway, here it is. So this is called Meet Me at Midnight, and I did design all of this on my own using, I used Max Stitch, which is honestly really great. It's not too hard to teach yourself how to use. But anyway, yeah, so I'm so excited about this. I really am. I guess I'll share with you the details of like the actual like fabric and floss, and then I'll talk to you about kind of the inspiration behind this and kind of how I pieced it together. So anyway, this is 28 count Lugana from Fortnite Fabrics called A Long, Long Time Ago. And it is very hard to kind of reflect this color on camera because it is a purple toned fabric, and I feel like purples are just really hard to show on camera because the lighting catches it weird. So anyway, this is probably about as accurate as I'm gonna be able to show it on the camera. I did take obviously pictures of this, and even the pictures look very different from each other because sometimes this fabric actually looks very pink, and then sometimes like if I pull it closer it looks pretty gray. So but yeah, it is kind of like a pinky purple lavender color. And then I used, this chart only has 4 colors, black, or 310, blanc, and the 2 purples that I used which really are blue toned, are 791 and 155. And yeah, so let's see. And I stitched this 2 over 2, and then the back stitch that is included is kind of a mix between 1 strand and 2 strands. So, but the inspiration behind this, obviously, is Taylor Swift. Specifically her latest album, Midnights. So the reason why I guess what sparked the idea to make a pattern for Midnights is specifically the song Mastermind. That one was, and it still is, but that one was kind of like my diehard favorite song on the entire album for like a good couple weeks. But yeah, so the dominoes around the outside, which make a clock, comes from the line, and just like clockwork, the dominoes cascaded in a line. What if I told you I'm a mastermind? So my whole idea was to have the dominoes making the clock. I didn't really necessarily have a good idea of how I was going to orient that, whether it was going to be like a square or a circle or in this case an oval. But that was kind of like a big driving point, I guess, for this design. And the large text in the center was going to say mastermind. But I was having such a hard time choosing a specific lyric from that song because the whole chorus just speaks to me. So anyway, I ended up changing it to say Meet Me at Midnight because then I could kind of encompass several songs from the album, and then it could just be Midnights themed instead of Mastermind themed. Sorry if you see the camera bumping, that's Wilson. He's trying to play really hard right now. But anyway, so I do have a few motifs in here. Obviously Meet Me at Midnight, and the color scheme is inspired by Lavender Haze. That's like literally the first line from the song. And hold on. Okay. Okay, so Meet Me at Midnight, and then the lavender color scheme is inspired by Lavender Haze. Obviously because it's called Lavender Haze, and the first line of the song is Meet Me at Midnight. And then, like I said, the dominoes are inspired by Mastermind. This bottle of spilled rosé is a nod to Maroon, which I'm gonna forget all the lyrics like specifically, but I do remember all of the, obviously the names of the songs, so it can just be a fun thing for you to go listen to the songs and see if you can catch the lyric. But anyway, the little eye right there is supposed to be a nod to vigilante shit, which is, she says, draw the cat eye sharp enough to kill a man. So we got that in there. And then we've got a rain cloud for Midnight Rain. We have a question mark for question. A little diamond for bejeweled. And then this is like supposed to be a name tag that says, it says it's me, hi, and then where you would write your name it says problem. I was getting frustrated with that one because it was hard to tell that it said it's me, hi, because it did say hello, but that wasn't looking right. So anyway, you can still tell that it's a name tag and that you can read the word problem, and that's all that matters. And then, let's see, this line under Midnight is supposed to be a friendship bracelet for You're on Your Own kid. And then the little black cat with the K on it is a nod to Karma, where she says, Karma is a cat purring in my lap because it loves me. So that's kind of how I represented that. And then I just filled in the rest of the little spaces with little sparkles and little extra freestanding stitches. So yeah, this is my little baby that I've been working on for a few months now. It took me, I think, like probably 2.5 to 3 weeks to stitch it. The design is like 101 by 70, so it's not very big. This obviously is like a smaller piece of fabric. I think this is, if I had to guess, it honestly kind of looks like it's about the size of a sheet of paper. But yeah, so this pattern is available on my newly created Gumroad page. I will have that linked in the description. Obviously, it's the only thing I have on my Gumroad, but I did set it to $0, but Gumroad is set up where you can pay what you want. So if you feel like you want to pay money for this chart, then you are able to do that. But yeah, I'm just really excited to share this with you all. I did have a really tricky time picking the colors for this, mainly because it's so hard to find lavender fabric that like is vibrant but not like, that still is lavender, if that makes sense. So anyway, I did struggle a little bit doing the colors, and I really did doubt myself at first when doing this because I didn't think these blue toned purples looked right on this like warm toned fabric, but I think in the end it really pulled it together and kind of helped the design pop off of the fabric. So if you do pick a different fabric, you might want to play around with tweaking the purples that I chose, but obviously feel free to just stitch what I used. So, and I think that might be it for this. You'll have to let me know if you're a Swiftie and how you like the pattern, but I'm excited to share it with you all. And I have no idea what I'm actually going to do with this, but I think if you stitch it on a 36 count, it'll actually fit in like either a 4x6 or a 5x7. But this, being on 28 count, is a little bit too big to fit in a 5x7. Because I think the width of this is probably like 7 1/4 or something. So yeah, don't know how I'm gonna finish it yet, but I will figure that out. But yeah, I think that is it for this. I guess the only other thing I wanted to mention on that is that it did take me 18 hours to stitch, so I thought that was interesting because that is definitely more time than like a small, like a 60x60, but definitely not as long as like a larger project, which usually takes anywhere from like 30 to 50 hours. Alright, so the next project I want to show you is, or I guess the next 2 projects I'm going to show you are my whips that I've been working on this month. This first one is kind of a continuation of last video. One of my whip goals this month was to stitch on Sweetheart Campfire for 8 hours. In my last video I had stitched on it for 5 hours, and so I needed 3 more hours, and I was able to accomplish that in the past couple weeks. So this is what Sweetheart Campfire is going to look like, and I might put in a screen grab of what I showed you last time, and then this is what it looks like now. So I finished out the diagonal down here, and then I started working on the next diagonal, which is up here. And then I also tallied this up. That was 472 stitches. So not that much, but still, like, honestly, I think that's a lot. I think some people, when it comes to full coverage, think that it doesn't look like much unless you do like 1,000 stitches, but honestly, like, I can visually tell the difference. It's probably because of how I'm working it. I feel like if I did 472 stitches and it was like I was doing like cross country or something, then it wouldn't look like a lot because all the stitches would be scattered throughout. But since I am stitching in the diagonals, it looks like it comes together pretty quickly. So, but yeah, got our lamppost there, which I'm super excited about. And then I think there's like this red colored coming in right here, and I think that's part of like I don't know what kind of bush it is. I'm calling it an azalea bush because that's just kind of what it reminds me of, but there is some sort of floral type bush that is in this area, so that's kind of cool to see that, start to see that pop up. I really want to print out a picture of Sweetheart Campfire that I can like, that'll be small enough to where I can like attach it to my project so that I can see what the full thing is going to look like while I'm stitching it, just so it doesn't look like just a blob of stitches, you know? And I can kind of like visually remind myself what I'm working towards. But yeah, so I did post a picture of this online, and then I was like, oh no, there's like, oh, there it is. I posted a picture of it and I was like, oh my gosh, there's a stitch I forgot to cross. And I don't know if you can see it, but like right in there, I forgot to do the second leg of that stitch. So I'm gonna have to go back into Pattern Keeper and see if I can figure out which color that is so that I can go over the second leg. But yeah, anyway, hopefully it won't be too difficult. If not, then you know, it is just one dot in the whole project, so it can't be that bad. The next project that I worked on was my British Isles Adventure Stitch Along from Caterpillar Cross Stitch. This is a mystery stitch along that is happening right now, and there are 2 parts released so far, so this is what that is going to look like as of now. And I gotta get these stitches out of the way. I'll actually just go ahead and cross that one so I can put the thread to the back. So this is what, or I guess this is what mine looked like last time. I think it was just part 1 that I showed. And then mine is still in the QSAP because I was working on it. But this is what it's looking like now. And I cannot recall what all of these are. This is supposed to be a soccer ball, I believe. And I want to say this is a rugby football or something. And then this is the start of a dragon. But I cannot recall what this doll is supposed to be. Oop. He's sleeping and his paw twitched. Hold on. Okay. But yeah, I cannot recall what this is supposed to be. I'll have to go look that up. But yeah, so there's several other motifs in this. I don't even think I'm halfway through this part, but this was about 3 episodes worth of The Crown. So I am enjoying that. I'm still in season 1, but I've gotten to the part where the whole London fog of like, what was it, 1950 something happened, and Queen Elizabeth was about to tell Winston Churchill that he needs to resign, and then he like did this great thing where he actually stood up and was doing stuff, and then she's like, darn it, I can't do anything about it now. Like he's actually trying to help. So that was, anyway, but I'm also like really annoyed with Philip. He is such a whiny baby. And I mean, I can understand where it's coming from, but it's also really annoying because he's just a whiny baby. But anyway, I'm excited to see how he, I guess, matures throughout the season. So, because I also like, I had talked to my mom about it. I was like, Mom, how accurate is The Crown? Like, is it worth it for me to watch it and take it as like, this is what happened? And she says yes, but I have not done any further research to justify otherwise, so. Anyway, but yeah, this is how this is looking. Okay, so let's see. That was all the projects that I worked on. Both Sweetheart Campfire and British Isles I stitched on for 3 hours each. And yeah, so those were the only things that I stitched on the past couple weeks. Which honestly, I always say that, oh, that's all I did, but like, it's a decent amount of stuff. I don't know why I downgrade it like that all the time. But anyway, so I actually, when I was writing in my notes, I was like, oh, I don't have any haul this week. But then, like just now, I realized that I actually do have haul. They are all digital things, so I will like pop up pictures as I talk about them. But I am gonna grab my iPad just so I can remember what the patterns are called, so I'm not just like word fumbling everywhere. All right, so there were some things that I bought. Some digital patterns from a shop on Etsy called Xana Cross Stitch, and they have lots of like Disney and stuff like that, and usually I'm not into that sort of thing because I don't know, some of it just frankly looks tacky, but I saw these patterns and I was just like, oh, I have to have that. Like I don't even know if I'm gonna ever stitch these, but I want to have them, so if I do, I have the pattern already. So the first one that like stopped me in my tracks was this one, which is called Alice. And I did try to figure out who the artist was because it wasn't just like a standard Disney image. And all I could really find was that it was like something, like Disney had contracted some artist to make it specifically for this like diamond painting thing that was like on some Japanese website. And so I'm assuming that this Etsy seller probably just took that image and created it into a cross stitch pattern. But needless to say, I was thinking about it so much, but I didn't buy it. And then I like came back to that same shop to look at it again, and it was gone. And I was like, oh no, like I should have just gotten it. And then I was like slowly giving up on it. And so I would like occasionally check the shop to see if it ever showed up. And it did, it showed back up. And I was like, okay, cool, I'm gonna get it because it's here now. So I ended up getting the bundle, which has 4 pieces of art in it. It's Alice, Wendy, Jasmine, and Rapunzel. I really love the Alice and the Wendy. I'm not as big of a fan as the Rapunzel and the Jasmine simply because I just, like, I don't think they look as cutesy as the other two, if that makes any sense. But yeah, if I ever get around to stitching these, I probably will stitch Wendy first, but I have no idea when that will be. I definitely feel like I want to finish Sweetheart Campfire before I even attempt to start another full coverage. But yeah, so I did buy that bundle. And then while I was at that shop, I also bought 2 other patterns. One of them is called Disney Kingdom, and it's just like some art of either Disneyland or like Magic Kingdom at Walt Disney World. And it just looks really cute because it has all these different nods to all the different lands. So I really liked that one. And then the last one that I bought was called Mickey and Minnie, and it's like a what do you call it? Like a photo booth strip of Mickey and Minnie together, and like halfway through, Minnie kisses Mickey, and so he's got all these little kiss marks all over him, and I just thought it was cute. But honestly, what made me purchase it though was in the listing, the seller actually had a photo of somebody who had started it and had basically almost that whole bottom square done, and it just looked so cute. And so I was like, I'm gonna do it. And probably like, I feel like if I ever stitch it, I might just stitch one of those blocks and not the whole strip, because like that would be a lot. And it only has like 12 colors in it because it's black and white. And then, so there's like 3 colors of red, and the rest of them are like grays and then black and white. So yeah, anyway, I thought it was super cute. Who knows when I'll ever stitch it, but now I have it and I won't have to like dream about it and then like try to go buy it one day and it doesn't exist anymore. So anyway, that's kind of my little saga on full coverage Disney stuff from Etsy. But yeah, anyway, so that was kind of my haul that I forgot about. And I guess next up would be plans. So my plans are going to be to finish my monthly goals, which are to finish, let's see, British Isles Part 2. And then the other goal I have this month is my second Whip Go goal, which is block number 22, which is Stitch into Christmas. And on that one, I originally had put like, you know, Part 3, Part 4, Part 5, but then I realized that I hadn't even finished Parts 1 and 2. So I basically just like took the pattern, I like ignored what I had already stitched, and then divvied up the rest of it between like 4 blocks, which is what I have it on my Whip Go board 4 times. So I have it typed out in my thing, like which motifs that I need to stitch for this like block or whatever. So hopefully I can work on that for the rest of the month and check that off as well. So yeah, but that is gonna be it for my video. I think I hit on everything. I did want to mention that, as I guess part of my closing here, I have reached a point with my YouTube channel where I actually am able to monetize my channel, and I was thinking about doing it simply because, you know, I'm already posting these videos, might as well take advantage of that. But then as I was looking into it, I just really did not want to make you guys watch ads, and that's really what it comes down to. And I don't even think the ad revenue is like that worth it, because it doesn't matter like how many views this video gets. It's how many people watch the ads before or during the video. And I myself despise the ads. I don't like them. I don't pay for like YouTube Premium or like an ad blocker or anything like that, but yeah, if I can keep ads off my videos, I will. So in response to that decision, I have decided to make a buy me a coffee. So if you would like to, you know, tip me in any way like that, to thank me for putting content out, then you can do so there. I will have that link in the description box. And just as a disclaimer, any coffees that you buy me will go towards either cross-stitch supplies or finishing or other crafty content for Flosstube. And yeah, so that's kind of my intent for that. But yeah, I just want to try to not make you guys watch ads, because I think if you turn on, like I noticed some people that I've watched have monetized recently, and the ads will play during the video like 5 or 6 times, and it's just really annoying, and I don't want to make you guys sit through that. So yeah, that is my solution for now. If you think otherwise, let me know. But yeah, I think that's gonna be it for today. Just as a reminder, if you are interested in my Meet Me at Midnight pattern, that will be on my Gumroad page, which is linked in the description below. And yeah, that's gonna be it. So thank you so much for stopping by, and I will talk to you guys in 2 weeks. Bye.